So the next time they come to art class, we're ready to weave. We've got our looms, which by the way, I forgot to mention, usually we go ahead and put our name right above that stop line. That way it doesn't get mixed up with all this stuff. So we're ready to weave, and I have a huge loom that I've made by just laminating a giant piece of paper. It's usually on the easel next to me. I noticed that it was always difficult for the kids to see things on a smaller scale, so that's why I made a great big paper version. And I'll usually demonstrate on the giant paper version and then do it once more on here before letting them have at it. So again, we're on the floor, no scissors this time, no need. We've got our looms, and on the floor I've got plates filled with their weft pieces. And these I'm just using some old painted pieces of paper, just depending on your project, what you feel like using. So I'll demonstrate, and we talk about pattern. We talk about A-B pattern and going over and under. I've tried loads of different ways of explaining weaving before. I've said this is a snake, these are the blades of grass, he's slithering over and under each blade of grass. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time I just say it's an A-B pattern. We go over under each and every one. You can't skip any, no over-overs, no under-unders. I'll demonstrate on the big one, and then I demonstrate on the small one. It's a little hard for me to do in the air. Poor planning on my part, sorry, no easel. So after I demonstrate twice, I let them weave while sitting on the floor, just one strip. And once they're finished, they can put their hands in their lap, and I can just glance on the floor and see who's got it. And usually that first one is not a problem. There might be a couple of kids who had issues going over and over, but usually this is a cake. It's weaving the next couple that sometimes gives them trouble. So I do a lot of demonstrating. I do a lot of non-exampling. So what I'll do is this, and it helps. Since you're doing an A-B pattern with weaving, it also helps to have A-B kind of colors of pieces of paper. That way they always think, okay, the yellow painted paper always starts by going under. The blue painted paper will always start by going over. That works with some kids not so much. Some kids you can just say, you're doing the opposite of this one. What did this one do? It went under, so the opposite of that is over. However, if you can see with paper weaving, the wefts prop up the warps. So the natural thing to do is just want to slide it in. It slides in really easily, and most of the kids will do that. So I'll demonstrate that, and I'll show them this is why this won't work. If I hold it just so, it'll stay, but if I scoot it down, because you're supposed to scoot all of your weaving down, you can see it slides right in front of the other. So I tell them that's one of the ways to know if you're weaving incorrectly. If you slide your wefts down and they start to hide other ones, you know you're doing the wrong thing. So we talk about opposites again, and I tell them that it will be difficult, but they have to use both hands. For some reason, what's up with kids only wanting to use one hand? You have that other hand that can sometimes be lazy. Go from behind and push those warp pieces up for you. Have it help you move those blades of grass out of the way so the snake can slither through it, or whatever little thing you want to tell them to make it work. You know best because you know your kids. Once you've got it in, slide it down to make sure it's going to stay put. If nothing slides down, then you know you've got it. Once it's finished, I have a finished one here, it should look a little bit like this. I tell them to keep weaving all the way to the top. Usually they'll bring it to me, and I can usually scoot them down a little bit so they can slide a couple more in. I will have kids who will get it right away and who will be done in 5 to 7 minutes, no problem. And then I have kids where it's a struggle. And so usually what I'll do is I'll have the kids do a lot of peer tutoring. Oh, you finished early? Great, please go help Mary. She's struggling a little bit. And the key to that is making sure they understand your job is to watch them because you're a teacher and teach them how to do it. Your job is not to do it for them. That's hard to teach. So sometimes they get that, sometimes not so much. So what do you do with these weavings when they're finished? The possibilities are endless. So this one I think would look great on its own. Before we've taken black paper and cut out silhouettes of the negative shape of like a heart or a butterfly and place that black paper on top so you can see just the image of the weaving inside. Other times we've used these to make houses for a big mural we made for a village. So we just added a door, some windows, and a roof. I know on some blogs like Paint and Paper, She had hers like this, took a little piece of fabric triangle, put it there, and added some paper fruit to the background to make it look like a basket. And one year we made them into pouches simply by folding a longer sheet, I'm sorry, not folding. Looks like oh yeah, we did fold. We glued this to a piece of paper, folded this over the top, drawing the image. You can see where it was stapled in the back and used it like that. This was so long ago. Sorry, I couldn't quite remember how it was done. So anyway, I hope that helps you out a little bit. Paper loom weaving is a lot of fun, and it's the perfect thing to do with kids when they are in kindergarten and first grade, because then it gives them something to recall and build on when they're in second grade and you introduce more weaving projects to them. I do weaving with my students every year, and this is a great ground kind of experience for them to build upon and recall from, especially when it comes to doing the opposites and making sure to always do the opposite of the previous paper. So I hope that helps. Have fun, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye. Now I'm going to awkwardly reach for the pause button.